I guess we'll go ahead and start off with last year. Every time we come in and we talk, the goal, always winning a state championship, and you guys had one heck of a year again last year.
Yeah, I just fell a little short there in that last game against Santa Rosa. They had a pretty good football team, but, we had some really good support all way up there in Santa Rosa and just fell a little short, but I was proud of the guys.
You've gotten to this program to where every year you guys are either winning, competing for a district championship, and competing for a state championship. Can you put your finger on one thing that's really kept it going for as long as it has?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with youth and our coaching staff. We have a lot of excitement about every year. And then we've had some good athletes. It always helps to have good athletes in whatever sport you coach. But I've been blessed with some good assistants as well.
You guys went up to Estancia this weekend and did scrimmage. What did you like about what you saw from the team up at the scrimmage?
Well, we did some good things, did some bad things. But the bad things we did, we can fix. And that's what we started working on today in practice, is fixing those. But had some kids that we really weren't counting on step in and play really well. And so it's really going to make us have to think about different roster spots and things like that. But, it was good. It was a good atmosphere, 4-team scrimmage. Got a lot of football in about 2.5 hours. So it was good.
You guys do lose a lot of guys, from Jim Coleman to Jared Rocha and Ray J. V. Hill, Cameron Martinez. I could probably go on and on, the guys that you lose this year. But you return a lot of guys that played on a state championship game team last year. Does that help out a lot going into this year?
Oh, yeah. We have 10 seniors coming back. 2 of them started. We lost a lot. But, regardless of what we lose, our goal is always state championship. We want to be playing that first weekend in December. That's always our goal. And anything short of that is going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But, our kids, they know that that's the goal before we even get started. In fact, the week after the state championship loss to Santa Rosa, we were back in the weight room getting after it again. So, but that's what it takes, though, And then a lot of our kids play different sports too, and I think that helps us out too, getting a lot of athletes involved.
Jared graduates, so got to fill in the quarterback position for the second straight year. Who steps in this year for you guys?
We got Joe Ray Chavez filling in right now. He's a real sharp kid, 4.0 student. I think he's top 5 in his class, and picks up the offense really well, picks up just things in general really well. Very athletic, good basketball player, good baseball player. He's picking up the offense quick. There's still some things he needs to learn, but he's getting there fast, and that's the thing that we as a coaching staff like to see, how fast he's progressing.
Your quarterback was your leading rusher last year. Will we see a lot of that again this year? Or are you going to think your running backs will get a little bit more of the load this season?
Well, our offense is just based on what they give us. I know I say that every year I come in here, but it's true. We just kind of count how many's in the box and go from there. But just in the last couple of years, it's just been that situation where our quarterback has been their leading rusher. But and Joe Ray may get a lot of carries this year. It just depends on what we see.
Who are we going to see in the tailback position for you guys this year?
Got Nick Shepard back there. Him and Ivan Candelaria and Ross Griffin. All 3 are kind of rotating right now at tailback, and all 3 bring different aspects to the game. I'm watching Nick Shepard in practice every day, him and Ivan. It must have been heck playing tag with them 2 kids, 'cause they're hard to catch, boy. They go from point A to point B real quick. So that's going to add a little wrinkle to our offense too.
Well, you've obviously had a great wide receiver in Jim Coleman over the last few years. Who steps into the wideout positions for you guys this year?
Well, Brett Sines, he was pretty good last year. He caught a lot of touchdown passes last year because I think they were paying a lot of attention to Jim, which is understandable. And Brett stepped in and caught a lot of balls for us last year, and he's back. And then Wyatt Christensen at an inside slot receiver. All 4 of my starting receivers are right at 6 foot. The shortest one is 5'10", but runs about a 4.5 40. So we've got some quickness and some size and some speed. So we just got to bring it together mentally.
And something I think for your teams that you've had really good offensive and defensive lines. How does your offensive line shape up this year for you?
Well, we only got 1 returner back, so it's going to be a learning experience, especially early. Dominic Cavazos is the only one that's back that started a lot of games last year. Devon Thompson is a wide body that guard that can move a little bit, and he's a sharp kid. He made 30 on the ACT, so he picks things up really quick too. Got a couple of kids fighting it out right now for center with Manny Maturino and Colton Ald, and both of those kids are working their tails off. Josh Balacci played some last year behind Ray J. Vigil, but Ray J played his tail off last year. So unfortunately, Josh didn't get a lot of time, but got some varsity time, and he'll be the other tackle. So, we got some kids that have had some varsity experience, but not a lot of starting and playing the whole game type of experience.
All right, let's switch over to the defense. Defensive line, who are going to be the guys that will need to play big for you guys this year?
Well, the same kids, small school football. It's the same kids on the D-line as on the O-line. Cavazos, Dominic is he's 6'3", 270, and he's going to cause problems in the middle. Colton Ald is not the biggest kid. He might be 6 foot and, 165, 170 pounds, but his first step's pretty quick. And Kendall Piper is another one that's not real big, but he's going to cause problems because of his speed. Devon Thompson, he's probably 5'10", 240, so he clogs up a lot of holes too. So, and then the linebackers, we have all 3 new linebackers, so it's going to be a learning experience for us.
Defensive backs, it seems like more and more teams, in 2As, maybe not be as much, but more and more teams forcing you to defend the pass a little bit more. Who's going to be out there for you guys this year?
Well, we have Brett Sons, who's probably one of the better corners around, and then Brent Kernahan is pretty solid at corner as well. He's the receiver that's a 4'5" kid. And then we got a transfer from Ruidoso, came down Pierce Montoya, who anticipates probably better than I've ever seen. He's only a junior, so he's going to help us. And then Joe Ray is going to play some DB as well, along with Ross Griffin. Nick Shepard will play some defensive back too for us from time to time. And all those kids can go get it. So we're looking forward to it.
9-game schedule for you guys this year, right? One less.
Yeah, in fact, we had another team quit on us early last week. Loving decided they didn't want to play us, and we were in big time scramble mode then. But picked up McCurdy for the October 5th up there at 1:00, way up north of Santa Fe. But yeah, we decided to get Silver City off our schedule. They have 132 boys out for football. We have 136 total in our school, so that's kind of hard to compete against that.
Yeah, absolutely. But as always, you guys play an exceptionally tough schedule in your non-district. A lot of 3A teams, Hot Springs, Ruidoso, so on. And that seems to be the hallmark of what you guys do. You're always playing up. You're always trying to play the toughest competition you can.
Yeah, and that's, it's unfortunate that Loving got off. And that's a AA school, and McCurdy's a single A school. But, at that point, we were just scrambling for a game. We really didn't care who it was. But, yeah, and I don't mind playing up, that's for sure. It just makes us better for the teams like Hatch and Lordsburg and, Cobra and those teams like that are in our district. It's going to make us even better when district rolls around. And then, of course, Mesilla Valley's in there now, too. So it's going to be it makes us better for the district.
How do you feel like district is shaping up? Where do you see yourself with those other teams? Have you gotten any feel for how good the rest of the group is?
Well, I've seen one of the teams on film, Hatch, and they're pretty good. They got a lot of their kids back. They were junior heavy last year, so they got a lot back. So it ought to be a barn burner. That I believe it's the second district game we play those guys, and that one's going to be if there's any game anybody goes and watches, that one's in Thule, so that one might be pretty good to go watch.
And one thing I want to close on is, and I'm always impressed by this, is the fan support you guys have. The village of Tularosa just seems, the whole village seems to show up for you guys. They travel for you guys. It's impressive that fan base that you've had for many, many years now.
Oh yeah, it is. And that's one of the great things about staying and about being the head coach in Tularosa is I know whatever road game we have, we're going to have fans. And, in 09 when we won state, we go over to Texaco, and I know we had more fans than Texaco had. And, it's like that everywhere we go. It doesn't matter where we go. The fans show up and, they're loud. And when we do it right, boy, everybody in the stadium knows it. And that's the way we want it to be. I want it to be a real loud Tularosa sideline.